Okay, so let's dive into this incredible story. It's about a brilliant mechanic from rural Punjab, a guy with, humble beginnings, but just world class talent. It's also the story of his amazing invention, a machine that would completely change his life, the Bambokat.
I trust you, but I don't trust this. That one line from his own wife, Paco, well, it tells you everything you need to know about our main character. He's a genius, for sure, but his creations are a source of both wonder and, let's be honest, a little bit of worry, even for the person who knows him best.
So let's meet our guy, Chanan Singh. He's a mechanic from a low social standing. But despite his background, his pure, raw ingenuity has landed him a pretty prestigious job working in the palace of a local Raja. Now, his greatest creation, the Bambokat, is really the heart of this entire story. It is so much more than just a machine. It's this handmade vehicle that just embodies his dream to earn respect not because of his social status, but because of the incredible skill in his own two hands. His ambitions are actually pretty simple, but they are incredibly powerful. He wants to impress the Raja, sure, and provide a good life for his wife, but most of all, he is dying to prove that what a man creates is way more valuable than the family he was born into. But here's the thing. Chanan lives in a world that is governed by these really strict social hierarchies. And in this world, his pride in his own work, well, it leads to a sudden fall from grace, putting him on a direct collision course with authority. And the whole conflict really comes to a head when Chanan tries to take Paco for a simple joyride on his bamboo cot. A palace official stops him and just cruelly reminds him of his place. The machine, he says, belongs to the palace, and he is just a servant, not worthy of using it for himself. Oof. Deeply wounded, his pride just shattered, Chanan makes a really bold decision. He quits his job at the palace. He just walks away from security and prestige. He chooses self-respect over a feast that's served with humiliation. But an act of defiance like that, it always comes at a price. Back in his village, his decision isn't seen as heroic. It's actually met with scorn, especially from his status-obsessed brother-in-law, a petty railway officer who insists, and I mean insists, on being called the Afsar. And what's really fascinating here is you see this clash of two completely different worldviews, right? Embodied perfectly by these two men. For Chanan, value comes from what you can build. For the Afsar, value comes from your job title and the uniform you get to wear. And you can see the difference so clearly in the stories they tell. Chanan talks about his inventions, real, tangible things he creates. The Afsar's pride, it pretty much rests on hot air. He tells this ridiculous story about facing down a leopard, a tall tale designed for one reason and one reason only, to inflate his own ego. So just as Chanan is trying to rebuild his life, a simple act of kindness triggers this bizarre twist of fate, an accident so strange and catastrophic it feels almost impossible. I mean, listen to this sequence of events. It's almost unbelievable, a perfect storm of bad luck. The wealthy plane owner, a man named KMP Singh, shows up, and instead of compensating Chanan for his destroyed crops, he blames him for the whole incident. In the end, Chanan is forced to give up half of his family's land as payment for an accident he didn't even cause. So now he's left with absolutely nothing, no job, no land, and a family who is now starting to see his greatest gift, his ingenuity, as a curse. But even at his absolute lowest point, stripped of his dignity and his family's legacy, there was one thing nobody could take from him, and that was his raw, undeniable talent. An old friend gets him a job cleaning floors at an exclusive racing club. Yeah, it's a humbling position, but it's here, surrounded by these high-performance machines, that he finds a new challenge, a race car that has stumped every other mechanic. So working in secret, he does what he does best. He fixes it. Of course, talent like that doesn't go unnoticed for long. The car's owner, just amazed that this floor cleaner could solve a problem that no one else could, immediately offers him a job as his personal mechanic. And now, feeling full of confidence, the car's owner decides to challenge his biggest, most arrogant rival to a high-stakes, winner-take-all race. And who is that rival? Well, in a stunning twist of fate, it's KMP Singh, the very same man who humiliated him, took his land, and left him with absolutely nothing. Yeah, the stakes just got personal. And that's where the story leaves us. Chanan's fate, his family's honor, his entire sense of self-worth. It's all riding on this one race. And it's not just about winning. It's about proving that true value lies